Cause I'm back, y'all, and I'm ready to go. Nobody likes it, it's still the name of the show. Yeah. The podcast that is writing history now. On the top of the charts and everyone talks about. Right. I know that the players might not be the same, but sarcastic humor is still the name of the game. You know who they are and who I'm talking about. You know what I mean, so you better shout out now. Nobody likes onions up in your hizzy. Nobody likes onions, learn it to like. It ain't easy. Nobody likes onions, still in your motherfucking hizzy. Nobody likes onions, just by the name, the girls get busy. They started at 2, and now they're more than 5. They got bigger and better, coming at you live. Bashing everybody just to get in the mood. Still talking about TV and food. And if a good old name calling is what you need, tune in for the bad podcast of the week. At Nobody Likes Onions up in your hizzy. Nobody likes onions, learn it to like. It ain't easy. Nobody likes onions, still in your motherfucking hizzy. Nobody likes onions, just by the name, the girls get busy. You heard it. Come on. Just by the name, the girls get busy. This ain't entirely true though. Leave it at Patrick.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Nobody Likes Onions program. I'm going to warn you right now, right up top, right out the gate, right at the beginning of the game. It probably won't go smooth. And you're like, Patrick, why would it go smooth? It's never gone smooth. Why would it begin to go smooth now? And I'll say this. Good point. But we are trying, I'm trying a whole new, so, we got a whole new computer. We got a whole new system, and when you format that, and I've had nothing but fucking issues, but when you have a whole new system, of course there's going to be disaster. So you tell me, how does it sound? Is it okay? Thanks for that sub. Somebody called this the new studio's half spaceship, half barn. Well, I like that. I think it's nice to get rustic. And if you don't think it's fun to just head out in your garage and work with woods, you're not living. Somebody said this to me right before the show started. They said, Patrick, how's the house? So I thought we'd spend at least 17 hours today talking about how's the house. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the loves. But we will be doing a lot of so we're a very basic skeleton system in here today as far as abilities go with cameras and sound effects.
Oh no.
And that sort of a thing. So bear with me. We're gonna get through it. I promise to get through it if you stick with me. Okay? You know what I'm talking about there, daddy-os? I'm drinking out of my Gotta mug, which is super special for me. I love it. I had these made just for me. A whole set of 13. I only need 6, but I know how I am, and I break a lot. A lot of stuff. Okay, so yeah, let's talk. I'll tell you about the house. You want to know what a house is like? I'll tell you what a house is like. I spent a good 7 or 8 hours down at my HOA factory. Is that where you call the place you go? My HOA factory, talking to them about the spa going in. Okay, so getting the spa, it's gonna go in. It's gonna be nice. Pouring the slab, the crane coming. You got to get licenses and insurance, proof for them. I'm giving them deposits. Hopefully it's all going to go through. This is what the woman down at the HOA place tells me. And this is 100% real. So it has to go to this thing called the Architectural Review Committee, or the ARC, which is not the thing they all climbed on at the end of 2012. Okay, so it has to go to the ARC. Now, apparently this committee consists of just 2 old men. 2 old men. And she said, oh, they only check their email, so they don't even work there or come in. You know what I mean? These are like these motherfuckers might as well be the three bald whatever the fucks they were in Minority Report. What were those things called? The precogs? I picture that they're just these two old men. They're docked together in a pool of amniotic fluid, you know, dick to dick. They're just docked. And he's like, yeah. She's like, they only check their email every week. So they'll probably get it next week. Then they'll talk about it and they'll have questions. And then they'll send those in the following week. And then you'll have a week to get your shit together and send it back. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, how is this even possible? These are the guys that hold the key between me and chlorine heaven, you know, this summer. And they're only able to communicate for a small window of time each week. What are they, NASA? How do their communications lines work? The same way they did on the island in Lost? Yeah, they've turned email into regular mail. How do you even do that? And meanwhile, I'm sitting, $10,000 deep in a deposit on a goddamn swim spa. And what am I supposed to do when that just shows up at my door? What am I supposed to do with that when I don't have board approval from the two guys in the old Muppet seats? You know? This is nuts. It's nuts to have to rely on two old men that out of touch. But anyway, that's what I'm waiting. That's what we're waiting on. That's the big holdup. So that'll be fun. Waiting on that. I'm confident in it. She said it all looked good. Everything should be good. But you can't relax. These people, they have your nuts, in a grinder or some sort of a nut, some sort of sack of nuts, Like at that place at the airport, C's Candies. Oh, God. Welcome, everybody. Happy day. And by the way, the mail is a goddamn nightmare, too. It's been so long since I've mailed things out. All of our things are, you order a hat, you order a shirt, they're all mailed to you to order, only touched by immigrant hands and people of color. I never dirty myself. It's not like the old days where I would rub my dick on every shirt, hoping a girl would wear it to bed. But, now these mystery boxes, I'm blowing out all this old merch. By the way, mystery boxes are gone. Gone. I cannot believe how many of you got in on these mystery boxes. And by the way, there will be more. I've got some more shit to unload. But the mystery boxes are gone. I'm out. And that's not to say I'm out of shit. I do have a lot more shit, but wow. Wow, you guys responded. So I've been just hauling packages down to the mailbox, down to the post office every day, trunk loaded up. And I had to send one off to our good friend Laura in Glasgow. And this thing cost me $83 yesterday, Laura. We got to work on those sound effects. That wasn't very sharp, was it? First of all, that's supposed to come in punchy, like a. Why is that so quiet? I don't like that. All right, we'll work on it. Either way, that's how to do. I mean, you paid a lot for it. Let's not act like it didn't charge you a lot for it. And by the way, I'm happy to do it. Enjoy your box of broken things. By the time it gets over there, I have no doubt everything in it will be shattered to bits and pieces. How is owning a house pet? Super expensive. I had to pay $400. $450, I guess, after labor and taxes and everything, to get a faucet replaced yesterday. Had a leak under the sink. I got one of these new faucets. So I'm telling you, if you don't have one of these, do yourself the favor. This will change your life. So the faucet I had in my sink was low. It came like up and then out a little bit, and it was too low. I kept bumping it, and I'm tall, so I'm looking down, and the faucet's in the way. Now, I got one of these high arcing, like chef's faucets, and we got the touchless. So you just kind of like wave at the sink, It's not even like the touchless, the one you like touch with the back of your hand when your hands are dirty. That one's cool. This one you just wave at it and it does it for you. It handles it for you. I like that even better. And it turns off after like 3 minutes if you don't do anything. I like it. It's changed my life. You don't understand how annoying sinks are until you have a robot one like they do at the airport bathrooms. So do that. And by the way, stop sending bits. If you want to pay me money and give me back for things, don't send bits. Just send me cash. We do have a new P.O. box, by the way. I'll be posting up the address for that. If you've gotten a package, you already know it, because I'll be damned if I ever put my actual return address. Get Pepe out of here. I don't like that you guys can just put things on my stream. Feels out of control. Anyway, thank you. All your orders, if you've ordered a mystery box, it's shipped and they're all out. And that's it for now. There will be more. But I got some more boxes to move around and dig some more shit out. But if you ordered those, thanks so much. It made me a pile of money and got rid of a lot of stuff out of my gas station to make room for my Jag. Does the faucet stay on when you bend to drink out of it? I don't know. I will ask my cats. That's a weird question, dude. Who bends over to drink out of their fucking faucets? And then I'll tell you another purchase. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop this shit. I think the swim spa, by the time that's said and done, will be $25,000. And I'm not financing any of it. I don't want payments. I don't want debt. And then this plunge I took last weekend, I ordered this company. I need a new sofa. If you follow the show, you'll know the last sofa I bought, I think, was 2011 or 12. And I liked it. I loved it. It was a good solid sofa. Nothing wrong with it. But I'll tell you this, it's time for a new one. And also, my living room now, I have one of these, I believe what the Property Brothers call a open plan home. So it's like the dining room, the kitchen, the living room. It's all family style, like Buca de Beppo. So I go furniture shopping. I'm looking for a new sofa, but I also, I need a set. I need like a sofa. I need like a love seat. I probably need some chairs. I need to fill out some space. What is a modern boy to do? I come across a company. You might have heard of them. Called the one that got peed on. No. Okay, yeah. People probably do need some context. If you've been listening for a few years, you know that Shuby, when I lived in New York City, pissed a lot on my old couch. Our old couch. We both bought it from IKEA. No. I had a nice couch that I had made, like to order or something, that I left in LA in storage. If you came to my house in LA, it was the one that was in my living room there with like a chaise and stuff. So I put that in storage when I left LA. When I came to Vegas, I brought it out. I didn't want to bring like nice furniture to New York. New York is the kind of place where you like, it's the kind of place where you like, it's like getting a beer at a stadium, I don't want to bring the container home. So it's that kind of a place. I'll buy furniture when I get to New York City, and then I will burn said furniture before I leave New York City. That's the way it goes. Frozen peas. So many stories. We're going to get Shuby in here soon. I think he's coming. He's engaged now. We're going to get him out to Vegas and get him on a show and caught up. The studio is ready for guests now. It is set up. There are 9 monitors in this room. There is something fucking weird with that. Are all my sound effects like that?
In the world.
No, just some. But we'll get Shuby on here. I'm hoping to have some comics on here. More about that. We're going to get to a lot of comic stuff today. I got a lot of comics to talk about today. And not just our old favorite, Ty Rivera. Lots of drama, Lots of comedy stuff on the fucking way. Stand by. First, I'd like to yell about sofas for about 17 to 32 minutes. Can we do it? Will you hang with me while we do it? Have you heard of this company? Have you heard of this company? It is called Lovesac. Lovesac. It is apparently a great company. They think they're really good at stuff. I go on here, shop sectionals, okay? I bought 7 seats and 10 sides. Okay, it was about $7,000 when I ordered this. Okay, if you don't know, here's how it works. They have things called seats and sides. Okay, this is what it looks like. Seats and sides. Oh my God, they really want to get you. And how it works, hold on, they're loading my 3D experience. Seats and sides. So there's a back here, which is called a side. You can use it as a side or a back. And then the seat piece. And then you can put these together to build kind of anything you want. It's like Legos for furniture. You see this? So you can build like anything you want if you have enough seats and sides. But holy shit, are they expensive? And I pulled the trigger on it. $7,000 fucking dollars for fucking furniture. Do you understand the madness behind that? So you'd think it would be nice. People are telling me, calm down with your sofa spending. I can't help this. I need stuff. So I gotta sell my old furniture. Now look, they told me, this is what Lovesac told me. Lovesac sends me a shipping notification, and it says it's coming yesterday. I got charcoal corded velvet. That's the color combination I got. It's gonna be exquisite. Corded velvet? Get the fuck out of here. What are you guys sitting on? Teflon? But I go into the Lovesac store. Now they have these stores. Please couch this bit. So I go into the Lovesac store. You want to see this thing before they do it. And they have the whole experience. You make an appointment. You go in. I go in 2 times to this Las Vegas store. This is a big purchase. I'm asking them what I need. And the great thing about these things, you can make them like shallow seated sofas, or you can turn the cushions sideways and make them deep seated. It really is like Legos for sofa. I'm on board. It was started by a Mormon man in college or something up in Utah. So I order these things, but I go in last weekend for my second visit. I go into the Vegas store. There are 2 people working, a woman and a Ichabod Crane, skinny AF, tall AF motherfucker. Now, this guy, the woman, she looks normal, whatever. This guy, and you're only allowed like 1 customer in the store at a time. Like, this is how they're doing this. It's a small little, store. So I make an appointment. I go. I'm walking in there. This motherfucker is in black jeans, a black long sleeve shirt, black rips in the jeans on the knees, like a girl, who really enjoys punk shows, and he's got a black beanie on. He's got the gauged earrings with the big black hoops. He's got nose rings, lapel rings. It looks like a hog in some sort of fair, but he's very thin and sunken cheeks. On his beanie, it says pure hate. It says pure hate. Now, I am not the most business-like dresser in the world, and I don't run a professional company. If you were employed by this podcast, I'd let you come in here every day with some shirts on and some hats on that say pure hate. I think that's cute that you're still in that Spencer's gift phase of your life. I bet you have Black Life marijuana leaf posters, cool stuff. And I don't want to be the one to hate on your individuality because I think it's key to our future. Is making you feel heard. Now, if I ran a company and employed you in customer service, this isn't like he's the guy developing the 3D experience on the website for customers. This is the guy selling it to people face to face, wearing a beanie that says pure hate. What am I to think if I'm just a mom coming in to buy a sofa for my kids and my ragamuffin dog? Hi, we're here to buy a pure hate. We came here after church. We were going to have CPK and get a sofa. Pure hate. Pure hate. If that's what you want to wear to the Million Man Madness, fine. If that's what you want to wear to the Imagine Dragons concert in the park, fine. It's a little weird for you to show up to work where you have to meet strangers and, convince them to buy a product. Under the badge, by the way, of the Mormon flag. Pure Haitians. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's a weird one. I'm in your store, trying to decide whether to spend $7,000 on something for my ass for the next decade to be comfortable on. How about you take off your super aggro hat for the next 6 hours during your shift? I'll even let you put it on during your break when you walk over to Wetzel's Pretzels and get yourself a corn dog. I don't get it, dude. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't allow it. If I were running a legit business where people were supposed to treat each other with some sort of. Am I wrong? Pure hate. This isn't the same as you going in to get surgery done and your doctor has 2 full sleeves of tattoos. It's that's fine. Not my concern. I can give 2 shits what you look like while I'm bleeding out on the table. Do you have degrees? Do you know this procedure? Cut away, sir. Or ma'am. Or Zizimzer. I can't wait till this gets back to the CEO of Go Die Couches Inc. Yeah, right. Does this guy know? And by the way, who's the manager in here? And this is going to sound sexist. I assume it was the woman. I assume we didn't let this male version of Daria become the runner of this branch. Right? Weird stuff, man. It's a lot of money to be spending. Could I not be greeted with just an outward, and by the way, I don't want to be triggered about it. I just found it odd. I found it super funny. I didn't bring it up. I didn't mention it. I didn't care. But if I was running the business, it'd be fucking insane. Imagine a bank teller wearing a hat that just said, fuck off. Next in line. It's insane. How can I help you today? Pure hate. I'm getting mixed messages, love sack. But maybe that's just me. Maybe they'll throw in some free pillows. I don't think they make pillows. They make sacks. They make sacks of love. They make them and they do. Guys, are you into NFTs? Would you like to buy So if you don't know this, Lane Libra, our good buddy Lane, the Hitman Libra, is an artist. He's a decent artist, man, and he is gonna help me. I think we're gonna work on this project. We're gonna design Nobody Likes Onions NFT trading cards, like Jake Paul did. We're gonna do just like Jake Paul. We're gonna copy Jake Paul. He seems to know what he's doing. Can I let you in on a little secret? Can I break the fourth wall and get real? And this is 100% true. It's also 100% true that we'll probably do the NFTs, but this is 100% true. And I don't know if I'm more proud of this or like this is embarrassing. I don't know who Jake Paul is. I don't know who that is. I don't know what he does. He's a YouTube guy. I think the first time this motherfucker caught my attention ever or was on my radar barely at all was when he found that dead woman swinging in a forest. So I don't I'm not up on YouTube, guys. YouTube isn't my world. We don't do a lot on YouTube. It seems to have passed us by. I don't give a shit. We'd like to do more on YouTube. If you don't know, the shows are available over on YouTube. I don't think most people give any shit, listeners of this show. But I guess he's a guy. He does things on whatever. He's a millionaire. Right. Yeah. Oh, he's big. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's not big, successful. Him and his brother, I guess they have a thing. But he was a Disney kid. Okay, that makes sense. All these kids go on to have their own therapists. But I'll say this: he seems to be in a lot of scandals. But he sold these NFT trading cards. What would you think? We sell some. We do some NFTs. Now I like the idea of there just being one. I think Jake Paul sold. Is it Logan Paul or Jake Paul? Oh, Jake Paul's the brother? Yeah, I meant Logan Paul. See, that's how little I know these. I don't know these guys at all. You're right. I meant this whole time. I meant Logan Paul. Fuck. That was crazy. That's actually what I meant. So I don't get. They're brothers. One of them faked a wedding with another YouTube. I know very little about this world. Now, I'll tell you this. I like the idea of these NFTs. We're going to create trading cards with personalities and characters from the show. So you have a Patrick trading card. You'll have a Josh Denny trading card. Let's make a Moody one. Let's make a Jake Lloyd. We'll make a Jake Paulk. That was a character from ours. We could do a Johnny B. We could do a chef. One. We only sell one of each. And these will probably go cheap because you got to factor in, nowhere near the audience of a Logan Jake Paul. And also, I don't think most people know how to buy an NFT, what an NFT is. Ain't nobody going to Rarible. Yeah, we could do an iron cake. Yeah. We'll start a thread on the group, on the Facebook group, and we'll get ideas. We'll make them. We'll let people buy them. We'll see what they go for. And they'll be nice. I don't want to design. We're not going to draw these in Microsoft Paint. Lane's a pretty decent artist, I guess. He keeps sending me. He always sends me when he finishes a project. I don't even know he's working on a project. He'll be just finish this and sent me a thing, and it's a robot pulling turnips out of a ass made of clouds. And I'm just all right, yeah. I don't know what to do with that. Hollywood Adam, fuck yes. We'll have him buy it back. We'll sell it to him. He has to figure it out. Man, I bet Adam regrets quitting. I doubt it. I got to tell you, because we never talk about that stuff because Adam, back in hindsight, Adam was part of 100 shows, so it's a very little slice of history of the show, but it's the beginning, so I think people have a soft spot for it. But the way that relationship deteriorated, and don't get me wrong, I'm still a bit of an asshole, but I was way bigger of an asshole back then. So I certainly don't blame Adam for all of it, but especially the way it ended, like so abruptly. I remember at the time we had like 30 something, 40 maybe. Oh yeah, we'll do a Keely one. She reached out to me on Instagram recently. She was like, hey, what are you doing? And sent me a selfie, trying to look all, and I was just like, living my best life. It's kind of like my blow off, like I don't really have anything to say. And she never answered again. But if you look at her profile, I looked at her profile, and you'll never find it. She's really good at like obfuscating her real identity. But if you look at her profile, she I guess is like crocheting, bags now and trying to sell them on Etsy. All these women. I don't know if everyone's okay during the pandemic. I don't look, and we're not going to do a lot of political stuff today because people get tired about it. And frankly, I'd like to get away from it, but you got to wonder. I posted on our group the other day because I think Columbia University has announced they're doing 6 separate graduations, and they're separating people by race, by ethnicity, and by what are they? It was ethnicity and economic situation. I don't know how they classified it, and then I'm seeing like. And by the way, everyone's like on board with that, like, yes, please, yes. And by the way, I want you to really reconcile in your head all these things that are going on while you convince yourself we're getting better, everything's improving. So we're having separate graduations now by race at a time where we're saying colleges are too expensive. So I'm sure 6 graduations are cheaper than 1, just naturally. That's how math works, right? Economies of scale and whatnot. Now, don't get me wrong. 6 virtual graduates. I don't think they're virtual, though. I think they're real. Separate but equal, Patrick. Right. It's like literally going backwards while everyone goes, finally, yes, we're doing it right. Like, how do you think this is good? like people are just out of their fucking minds. And then I literally go on people's pages. Now, America's starting to get back to it because the shootings are back. Am I right, everybody? The shootings are back. So we had the shooting this week. The guy, some fucking like guy in Georgia, who looks like one of these incel idiots. I don't know a lot about the story. From what I understand, he was patronizing these Asian massage parlors, and goes back. He just has this vendetta against women because women don't like him. And he goes back to the massage parlors, the very ones he was patronizing, and shoots them up. Now, 6 of 8 people he shot were Asian. I believe that's right. Or 8 of 10 or whatever it was. 6 of 8. And don't get me wrong. This is bad. It shouldn't. This isn't okay. But let's not act like shootings are new. And let's not act like this is the first race-based shooting. And let's not act like there aren't a million other shootings a day that aren't race-based. Everything in perspective. Also, he's in, we got him. But I need everybody. I need everyone. And this is real. And it's going to be a theme when we get to the comic stuff later in the show. I need everyone to really start getting a grip on reality. Like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Are you okay? These are real posts I'm seeing on Facebook. It's like, killing Asians is not okay. Killing black people is not okay. This is not okay. None of this is okay. I am not okay. And it's just like, are you okay? Like, what is everyone talking about? We live in arguably one of the best countries ever, like ever, at one of the best times ever. On the whole, everything is fine. Look, we've got some mental issues, and it's due to a couple things, social media and technology, and also being cooped up a little bit because of a goddamn pandemic. Get okay. Get okay. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to freak out a little bit. Stop being dishonest. Stop lying. You're taking away from the real shit when you do this. If I see one more person, hero posting about stop Asian hate, like, who are you talking to? I'm not doing it. We got the guy. He's in jail. Are you okay? Stop Asian hate. Oh, I'm sure that the gentlemen who are sneaking up behind old Asians on San Francisco streets, clocking them and knocking them to their death, give a fuck about your hashtag and your post. Who are you talking to? Stop the Asian hate. A minute ago, it was black people. We're done with that now? Are we off women now? It's on to Asians? By the way, statistically, want to know who hurting all the Asians? It's the BLMs. Statistically. So we got a real culture clash, don't we? They want to paint this guy, this fucking guy who could barely grow a beard, teenager, goes on a shooting rampage. That's some white shit. Clocking Asians in the street. That's some black shit. And it's a lot more, by the way. A lot more. Over half of violent crimes. And so I saw a report that over the last decade, especially in Northern California and around San Francisco, of 85% of crimes with an Asian victim, perpetrator is a black male. 85%. So keep up your posts about this shooter, McMahon. We got him. It's not okay that this guy, you're correct. We got him. I saw another one that was like, why is it okay to take this man alive after killing 8 people, and yet Breonna Taylor was shot sleeping in her bed? It's like, neither one of those things is true. It's not okay for him to kill those people. That's why he's in custody. Like, people are going ape shit about a guy that we got. Yeah, that we got, Got him. We got him. How come he gets to go to jail alive while Breonna Taylor shot sleeping in her bed? That's not what happened. She wasn't shot asleep. Every time you see someone post that, just go like, you're an idiot. In your head, and by the way, don't comment on it. How dare you fight with anybody online like an idiot? Tonight, we're going to be diving into my Facebook, taking a look at somebody's Facebook page. Do you think I'd ever comment on their post? I can't even find the post I was mad about, but when I went to look to find it today, I found something I'm even more enraged about. Strap in, comedy drama. Fuck, man. Like, fuck. Does it feel good to, lie to yourself? I don't know what you're up to. Why lie to yourself? I am not okay. This is not okay when Asians can't even go out on the streets. It's like, what? Where do you live? Asians can't go out on the street. Are you okay? Fuck. You're all delusional. You live in a pretty good world. Stop. What is the attractiveness to you of turning America into a shithole in your mind? This is not okay. I'm terrified. By the way, I don't go out, nor do I want to go out and be a part of any of it with you dopes. Not out of fear, because I see how you're acting. It's fucking insane. I'd be caught dead before I participate in this cacophony of horse shit you're all partaking in. What is everyone doing? Nah, but seriously, what'd you guys get for Christmas? Fuck, man. We're talking about mixed race. By the way, stop. Just stop. You think Asians can't walk down the street? You really believe that? You really believe that? And this isn't just a U.S. problem. It's going on around the world. Idiots who are into like bashing people because their faces or skin look different aren't into hashtag activism. You are doing nothing. We're not even right. I don't want to get into political stuff. I just did 17 minutes about sofas. We were having a nice time. You think I want to do this? No. You've made me. Fuck. By the way, China ain't good. This is an evil regime that is coming for us. Nothing against Asian people here. They're Americans. They're good people. Stop beating them. I tweeted this. My new thing, by the way, I'm reactivating my Twitter account. Follow me, PML. I'm going to start tweeting again, but only things that I think might get me banned or canceled. I haven't put a lot of time into it, but I'm really going to start getting. I tweeted the other day, hey, everybody, stop beating Asian people. It's hard enough to get your hands on a graphics card right now. You know what I mean? These are good, solid bits. I really expected it to be like, how could you? And it didn't. It didn't get any heat. What if Asians can't even give a happy ending anymore without getting shot? Yeah, it's one of those things. Do we not look, I don't know a lot about it. I don't know whether the dude did it because they're Asian or not. I don't jump to crazy conclusions like everyone else. You know? I also don't think it's a big deal that Biden tripped walking 17 times walking upstairs to an airplane. It's like, oh, did the old man not be able to do young man things? Huh. But, you know, I also didn't think it was a story when Trump slid on a ramp. Like, this is what I'm talking about though. Like, everyone's focused on like the shiny object in the corner and not to like, I can't, like, this is all the Republicans now. Just like, did you see Biden falling? He's old as fuck. Of course he fell. You know how many times this motherfucker slips off the toilet in the night? Please. We're all going to be slaves to Queen Kamala and her 3 dragons. Mark my word. Mother of dragons. Asians invented Bitcoin. I'm just saying, you know, everybody's acting like get off China's back. It's like, don't worry about it. They'll be on yours soon. You know, oh yeah, China, they're great. China virus. How dare he call it the China virus? We never do that with viruses. Name them where they're from. Right, West Nile? He keeps calling Kamala president. It's coming. Are you blind? You dumbs? I'm in. Look, let's ride it out. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be fun. I saw a friend of mine post, and this is involves a fan of ours, an old fan of ours, Kevin in Toledo. who I'm friends with on Facebook. So a friend of mine, comedian of mine, posted a picture of a Dr. Seuss book. Now, he was in his home. I'm just holding up a mirror. I can give two fucks about all the things, Nobody's canceled Dr. Seuss. They came out and did it themselves. They're the idiots, There's two guilty parties in this. It's the dopes that are like calling for everything, and it's also the like pussy companies who are like pandering, like, we're gonna make all the Oreos black for a week. Like, okay. Like, all right. I guess the Asians are saved. Thanks for the follow. That means all of the things. But so a comic friend of mine posts, and a comic is friends. They live in the same area. Is friends with Kevin in Toledo, who is an Ego and the Maniac ska band. They did a cover version of our theme song. Great guy, Kevin. So this comic posts a picture of his one of his Dr. Seuss books. Clearly, like the pictures, he's holding it up in his daughter's room or his kid's room. So he has this book in his house. He bought it for his kid. And he's like, does anybody want to bid on this before I throw it up on Marketplace or eBay and donate the money to a, trans battered women's shelter? Like, I'm not kidding. Like, this is what he wrote. Something like that. Like, I'm going to sell this on eBay and take some dumb Republican's money and donate it to a battered trans health center. Like, I'm deadly serious. Okay. Then Kevin in Toledo comes along and posts some comment on it that like agreed with it. Is a couple times I've seen this kind of thing. It's like, number one, you bought the book. Okay. Was it racist all along? And are you embarrassed now that you got caught with a racist book? That's number one. So it's a weird dynamic to be bragging about the racist book in your house if you're buying into this whole argument, right? So that's number one. Number two, I'm going to sell this and take some dumb Republicans. It's like, collectors will buy this book. I don't think it's, I don't think every Republican thinks that Dr. Seuss isn't racist, and I don't think every Democrat thinks that he is. This is a flavor of the week thing that you're kind of knee-jerk reacting to / getting like, this virtue signaling is out of control. It's out of control. What are you getting out of this? Again, like I said, you're showing off a racist book you bought. Now, did you learn? Did you post a thing that was like, hey, I had no idea that I was a super racist person buying into a super racist society when I purchased this book, and I will burn it and forever be in shame? It's like, number two, I can't buy a copy of One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, yet Mein Kampf is available at every Barnes and Nobles. I don't know what the bookstores are called anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you can get Mein Kampf. You can buy the Anarchy Cookbook, which teaches you how to make bombs out of matches and tennis balls. If I had a zoo is too triggering now? Isn't the Bible quite racist? Yes. So it's weird on so many levels. But then Kevin in Toledo jumped on and was just like, yeah, fucking idiots reading this to them. It's like, I don't know what's happening, man. It's hard to know what you really give a fuck about when you're up in arms about everything. It's like, you know what I mean? Again, this book was in your daughter's room for her perusal. Up until when? Yesterday? What are we talking about? And by the way, I've seen the drawing of that Asian character, and they didn't do it nearly as Asian as I would have done it. Come on. Asians have a look. Asians have a sound. Like, It's okay. I'm not saying get them. Who publishes Mein Kampf? Penguin Publishing. Pendant Publishing. Man. People are like, we're making ourselves into this weird, like, super weak pussy people. Like, what do we do? Like, who is this attractive to? Oh, I got it out of my daughter's room as soon as possible. Oh my God, thank God. The fuck is wrong with you? God, we're in such a weird fucking time. If I had a zoo, it'd have N-words too. Isn't racist anyway. That is not. That is not the name of it. I gotta tell you, man, we've just gone bonkers McGonkers. Now we're gonna get into comedy drama. But to tie this all together, I'd like to show you another one. So there's a comedian, and here's where start recording. Get him. Don't worry, I'll put this up in 1080. There's a comedian, okay? And I've only done a couple of shows with this guy years and years ago when I lived in LA. He also came to my old apartment once, which is now Josh Denny's apartment, to record a podcast when I had a podcast network on Chris Porter's podcast, Chris Porter's General Store. This comedian's name is Brian Scalaro. Now, Brian Scalaro, very well-known comic, okay? Funny guy. I was going to have him on this show one time. He was supposed to come do this show. It didn't work out. I didn't get a Twitter. He Twitter DM'd me, and I didn't get it until days later. And I'd still like to have him on the show. So I'm not trying to blow. I get stuff from people like, whoa. Let me say this right now. If you're a comic watching this, and you're one of these guys who's like, man, you were pretty hard on so-and-so, or, oh, fuck. It's like, you're all becoming giant pussies if you think that. Because I don't know what everyone's deluded themselves into thinking. I don't really come out swinging on this show to anyone who doesn't, come at me. And this thing, I'm about to talk about Brian Scalaro, he didn't come at me. This popped up on my Facebook. I didn't comment on it. I didn't go after it. I think that's retarded to do. If you ever catch me arguing on Facebook, I'm bored and trolling, and I will delete it the next day. It's super embarrassing. So I go back and I delete comments. I drop little bombs and then delete them the day later. I've got the time and I have the assistance to do it. But I'm not hard on anybody. I say truths. I say facts, And we live in a world where like somebody does something really shitty and you call them out for it and then they turn around and go like, why are you being such a fucking asshole? It's like by blowing up your shit, by talking about what a piece of shit you are. Now, I don't pass final judgment on somebody and go, this person's an unredeemable sack of garbage. I tell you what happened. You decide. You figure it out. Okay? We got a few comics to get into today. One of them, Brian Scalaro. If you don't know Brian, he's been in a lot of stuff as his browser, as his Facebook buddy will tell you. The fuck? All right, look. Brian Scalaro, he's been Wizards of Waverly Place, Stacked. He's a stand-up comic. He's been in a lot of stuff for a lot of time, okay? Got some credits. I was looking for a post in here. So I start scrolling because there was a post the other day where he wrote, so just got attacked on my page for asking for donations for my MS. I guess he has multiple sclerosis. But there was another post on here that got deleted and it's now gone. Okay? Now, the gist of this post, which ties in kind of to the one before, was this. Now, I guess he's immunocompromised, you know? Brian Sclaro. He's got MS. Certainly understand that. And, you know, you're talking to a guy. I recognize most of my friends and most of the people, they're out there living their lives. I go to the Lovesac store, you know, wear my mask, come home. I see people eating. I see people hanging out with their dogs. I see people shopping, doing stuff. Great. Whatever you're comfortable with in your own risk level, you know, you're a young person, you've already had it, you're vaccinated, you're not too worried about it because you're pretty healthy. Whatever your situation, go nuts. Your own risk level. You know, I say respect people with the mask. If somebody's not wearing a mask and you don't want to deal with it, don't deal with it. Don't deal with it. He made a post where he's like, I was in my apartment complex, in my hallway, and I ran into a girl without a mask. Okay. And I told her she should be wearing a mask. And she goes, I don't need a mask. I'm vaccinated. So I can't get it. And I said, yes, you still can, and you can spread it to me. Even though you can't get it, you can still spread it to me, immunocompromised people like me who can't get the vaccine. Now, it went on and on about how he got into a little back and forth with this woman. And all I'm thinking to myself is, if I'm, immunocompromised, go into your apartment. Get on the other side of the hallway. You're coming off like a self-righteous ass. You know? And I don't know you. Again, we've met a couple times. I have no doubt in my mind he has no idea who I am or remember. But he's been to my house. My old apartment. You having a conversation one-on-one feet away from a woman without a mask while you claim to be immunocompromised, and I'm not saying you're not, but like if you were, it shows you what people really give a fuck about. It's like when we get in these arguments with people about, so you don't want any change if there can be no change. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want to do things that do nothing. I don't want to stand in a hallway of life and argue with someone about masks. That's insane. That is insane. Look, it's common sense to me that putting a mask over your face stops you from, someone like me especially. I'm spitting all over the goddamn place. I'm a pretty hot-headed fuck. It seems like it would stop you from dropletting and spitting on people. It seems like a pretty, all right, easy thing to do. Not a big deal. Not a hard thing to do. Whatever. Mask up. Shut the fuck up, mostly. Imagine truly being immunocompromised and having this argument. It doesn't make any sense. So I went to show you the post because I'm not recapping it accurately. It had some insanity to it. And then underneath it, there were at least 3 to 7 comments. Maybe this is why it got deleted. Going off on this woman who no one knows, by the way, a woman in his building. Calling her a bitch, hoping she dies, hoping she gets it. It's like, this is why the left, now the right disgusts me for a lot of different ways and reasons, but this is why the left disgusts me. Once you've made a moral decision in your minds, you guys are comfortable breaking your own rules and attacking whoever the fuck for anything. Once you've decided that they're morally wrong, which by the way is, your own whatever, skewed whatever. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Now she's a bitch and you hope she dies? Like, Jesus Christ. It's like Trump, like inciting violence. Like, yet 9,000 people are allowed to, tweet about death to Trump, who was a sitting president. It's just like, it doesn't make... You're either concerned about the rules or you're not, or you're actually concerned about people or you're not. You can't have it both ways. It doesn't add up. So I come on here to look for this post. It doesn't exist now. But what we have instead, it's a video, so it's even better. And look, he's raising money for multiple sclerosis. He's got a Patreon. Go support comics by all means. If you like them. I find so then he posted this one yesterday, a couple days ago. If we find the people who won't wear masks, okay. So again, like this is the argument. I'm not sticking up for people who don't wear masks. I want to make this very clear. I wear a mask everywhere I go. I'm more scared of. I haven't seen a friend face to face in Las Vegas in over a year. I've been here in Vegas. I haven't seen a friend in a year. Guests of this show, not guests of this show, out and about or home. So I'm more paranoid than most people. Number one, I hate everyone. And number two, I'm paranoid about it. I don't want to get this virus. Probably be fine. Don't want to take chances. Just don't want to fucking do it. Now, most of my friends, most comics here in Vegas, they're out doing their thing, living their best lives. And I don't have a problem with that. Do you? Everyone can calculate and calibrate for themselves what an appropriate level of risk is. It doesn't make sense to go around preaching to everyone. We're past it. Let me let you know, a Biden coming out saying maybe by 4th of July, you'll be able to have a picnic. It's like, are you retarded, old man? Why don't you go do some more hopscotch on the old stairs up to the thing? It doesn't make sense. You're also immunocompromised. Maybe. I don't know. I'm diabetic. I'm overweight. Certainly not happy. But, these people don't get it. They've had a year of you telling them wishy-washy information, lying, not lying, changing shit, giving, different stats. People are over it. They're out. They're doing what they want to do now. It doesn't fucking matter. You're going to have to put soldiers in the street to stop people. They're over it. They're just over it. And it doesn't mean I'm going to be out there running around at the Puerto Rican Day Palisades. But, some people will. Some people absolutely will. And that's fine. Like I said, take your own risks. I find it insane and insufferable to just argue with strangers. And I understand that it's a hot button topic, just like half the country voted for Trump. I don't sit here and go how could they? I don't know. They just do, man. Like, you've surrounded yourself with people who think like you, so you can't fathom another point of view. So that's not, and then you have, hey, if we find people who wear masks, then we can put that money towards the next stimulus. Then we also have a record, hey, Schindler, of people who didn't wear masks, so we can kick them off the stimulus. Food for thought. And then everybody's like, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. You have to understand that this is a very divisive issue. So it's so it's an insane person who's just you understand this was Hitler's rationale? I don't understand why we don't just get all the Jews and put them in a cage. If there was Facebook, if you traveled back in time and created Führer book and posted what is everybody doing letting Jews just be people and live? Put them in cages, put them on trains, turn on the showers, gas them up. 39 likes. Yeah, of course. Start a list. Start a list. What are you talking? A list of people who don't put on a mask? What are you fucking talking about? Stores, if you want to be a mask store and require it. If you want to do it optional, have it optional. If you want to be the fucking rootin' tootin' general store owner who's no mask, no service. If you want to be Get your mask outside with your dog. No masks in my like. Fine. Everyone will just pick where they want to shop based on that. Then this is over. The lists are coming. The lists are coming. The lists are coming. The lists are coming. I don't know, man. I don't have the answers. Clearly. But it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good for people to like be so sure of themselves. Like, what we'll do is just round up anyone who feels differently. Like, I'm sorry, who are the fascists again? Put your name tags on. Let's continue, because we're not even to the shocking one yet. So here it is. Okay, so... And you start to get a theme of this. And again, you know, Brian, I'd love to have you on the show to actually talk about it. Like, if this gets back to him, somebody tag him, start some shit, see if I give a fuck. But, you know, Brian, I'd love to have you on and actually talk about this. Are you all right? You seem like a level-headed guy. You seem like a funny comic. You seem successful. I'm worried about you, man. Like, are you okay? Because we could go boogeyman hunting, but I'd rather like get to the, you know, let's get to the bottom of something real. Look at this. These two gentlemen just attacked my friend and I for wearing masks. Already, my Jussie Smollett meter is dinging. What? Now, sometimes Asians shoot up, sometimes white guys shoot up Asian massage parlors. And sometimes, I have no doubt, you know, I got called, this is 100% true, in Oklahoma, I got called, I forgot for wearing a mask in a store. And then I just moved on with my life. I didn't stop, have an altercation, you know, break down a 32 slide PowerPoint with why you can transmit. Like, I don't care. Like, for all they know, I am and do love chugging chodes. China has been buying up all sorts of Canada and U.S. land holdings. Better watch that. It's over. I'm not even worried about that. China or Russia or the UK / European. It ain't a thing. Fabric melting. Love that. Guys, this is like worrying about, flying and dying while you don't put a fence around your swimming pool, and that's how your toddler will die. You know what I mean? Like, there are like, people aren't interested in like actual problems. Like, if I was going to solve problems in an organized way, top to bottom, I'd be like, okay, what are the biggest problems affecting the most people? And it wouldn't be like, well, trans bathrooms and teenagers who want pills. Like, got my COVID vaccination shot today. Oh yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
So regardless, but Brian Sclaro, these two gentlemen just attacked my friend and I for wearing masks. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess you started this. Now, I don't know. This is a wild accusation. You have a history. I saw the post. It's now been deleted on your thing. You have a history of starting shit with people you see not wearing a mask. By the way, it's starting to get hot in Vegas. Let me tell you two things I saw, and this is why I'm starting to get worried about average people. You know, we've always known the average person was dumb, but like, you're not even questioning sanity and common sense anymore. I literally saw a woman alone at a bus stop, alone, eating. She had like Carl's Jr. or something. She had it out. She was eating. She would take a bite of a burger, mask dangling from one ear, put the mask back on and chew. Take it down, take another, by herself. I'm sitting in my car losing my mind. It's starting to get hot, and I'm still seeing dope after dope after dope wandering around, walking around down streets, no one else around with a mask on. You're walking outside during the day alone with a mask on. It's not more comfortable. It's not nice. It doesn't feel good. What are you doing? What are you doing? I need more information. What do you know that I don't know? Because I don't feel good about it, man. I don't feel good about it. I have to wear one alone in the car when delivering other people's food, or I get a lot of stares. That doesn't happen. I'm telling you right now. I have delivery drivers bringing food up to my door with no mask on. So it's not always happening. It's not always happening. Thank you for doing that if you really do that, but I think that's insane. If you grab a bag of food and put that in your passenger seat or the back seat, as long as you're not spitting around in your car. Look, if you got a cough, put it in the trunk. Put it in the back, whatever. It's insane for you to drive your car around with a mask on. It's redonkulous, someone said. That's why I don't like these stories. It's like it's not believable from the beginning. Okay, let's go with it. These two gentlemen just attacked my friend and I for wearing masks. And one of them is wearing a woman's coat. They waved me over. Listen to this. They waved me over. He's wearing a woman's coat. This guy looks like he's in Red Dead Redemption. Woman's coat. You've never had anything good fitting in your life. Like, Brian, we're fat fucks. What are you talking about? So I called the police. Yeah, right. Fuck. I find myself driving home after work. This is from the chat. With my mask still on. If I get a comfy one, I don't even notice it anymore. That's fine. That's like wearing your sunglasses on your head and then looking around for them. That's fine. It's not the same thing at all. You feeling like you should wear it? I think Dutch Brothers, the coffee place here, I go drive through and get Dutch Brothers coffee. They want you to wear the mask when you go through the drive-through. It's like, no, I'm going through a drive-through so I don't have to wear a mask. I'll do you the courtesy of like talking straight in my car while you're over here to not drop you. Well, I just go, oh, thanks for the coffee. Wear my mask while I drive. I'm not doing it. That's why it's insane when Trey's Mala finds it necessary to like film himself on his Instagram thinking he's a badass, walking through a parking lot alone, going, no mask, I'm a free breather. It's like everyone should be a free breather walking through an empty parking lot alone, dummy. How brave. Yeah, we have to have masks on in the drive-thrus here. Yeah, I think that's crazy. Look, and again, if they were like, you have to have one on to get coffee, I'm putting one on. Okay, I understand that McDonald's wants me to have a shirt on too, so I don't freak out everyone who's eating pickles on a Big Mac when they see my nips. I understand rules. But I don't believe this story. This can't be all real. You're telling me they waved me over and said I was a pussy for wearing a mask, and that Corona does not exist, and that me being fat was going to kill me, not Corona. It's like, this didn't happen how you're saying it. Hey, come over here. You're a pussy for not wearing a mask, and Corona doesn't exist, and you're going to die because you're fat. That didn't happen. Come on. Come on. Also, if that was the 3 bullet points this motherfucker had to yell at me, just like, you're not wearing a mask, you're a pussy, Corona don't exist, and you're going to die because you're fat, I'd just be like, okay, and walk away. You find it very, very interesting. And look, again, you got a history of this. You posted, just met a woman in my building who wasn't wearing a mask, guys, but I set her straight. It's like, cool, police. I always find it weird when there's a comic doing this. It's like, who hurt you? You know? Do you feel good being the cops? The man? Like, you're a comic. Who are you after? We should find them and round them up and make a list. Someone called you a pussy and you need to go tell people about it? Victim? Just got attacked on my page for asking for money for my MS. Did you? Also, who gives a fuck? People on the internet were interneting? Oh my God. Like, fucking file a report. Are you new to the web? Imagine if every time someone said something disparaging about me, I went crazy. You don't see me? You don't see me starting threads in my own group about people bullying me? Yes, you do. That happened this week. The point is, we're very out of control. And you've got a history of just loving the victim. You love the victim hard. Hard. People were doing this to me on my page. I saw a woman in my hallway who wasn't wearing a mask. Okay, hall monitor. Gross. Gross. I think you spent too much time down at Waverly Place because you're acting like an 8-year-old. What the fuck? This guy called me a pussy and then said I was fat and I was going to die. You are fat. I'm fat. And, you know, this could have been time spent better eating pizza and jacking off. No, I need to go let people know that I was attacked. I felt people were, and they were so dumb because they said the corona was they don't even believe corona's real. Like, did that happen or didn't it? It sounds fake AF. Then when I explained that 500,000 people are dead, he said I was an idiot for believing that. And he was a middleweight boxer and that he would kick our asses. So I called the police, but they left by then. And then I found out the idiot on the left lives in my building. So that should be fun. I'm worried about you. Not because of that guy. I'm worried about you, man. If you're living like this, I really want you to know it's not proportionate. The way you're acting about all this stuff is not proportionate. But Patrick, Asians are getting... That's awful. And everyone who does that to Asians should get arrested. I'm going to let the cops handle it. I really don't think my hashtag is going to assist them in their case. I'm not the Long Island medium. Man, like, God, are we lost as a people? Common sense wise and just in what matters, you know? Like, fuck, dude. Imagine if every time you posted a victim post like this, you created a piece of content and did something, you know? Jesus fucking Christ, man. Imagine the amount of time police wasted on this shit. Right. Oh, did they leave by the time you called them? There's guys here in a van calling me a pussy and they're not wearing masks. Aren't you 40 something? What the fuck? God, man. Like, we're out of our fucking minds, dude. Ugh. I feel bad. I feel bad. Oh, fuck. I like to have them on. I'd like to have a conversation. I don't think it's serving you. I don't think it's serving anybody to just be running around acting like a fucking nut. By the way, you see someone doing something to Asian people, white people, black people, by all means, stand up for what the fuck is right. Let me say this. You see somebody getting shanked by 6 guys down an alley? I'll understand if you don't go help them if you're alone, no matter what fucking race they are. There's I got to look into this. We got more comic stuff. There's a comedy contest, apparently. I'm on a lot of these comedy groups, and it is getting super cringe. We might do a little after show today. We'll talk about it. What comics are willing to do is insane. I never knew. I almost want to start like a prank show where I can just see what I can get comics to do for entertain. Like, hey, come on, nobody likes onions, and put ketchup all over your face. We'll laugh. Like, these guys are desperate AF. Cold coffee. Because of the ice. So there's a lot of these Zoom comedy competitions popping up now. One of them is by an old rival of mine, Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank, California. Now, I wish someone could find this, but a long time ago I had a Tumblr blog, patrickmelton.tumblr.com, I believe. It's gone now. But if somebody can find it, I wrote an open letter to Flappers Comedy Club back in the day, maybe on the Wayback Machine or something. Somebody can find that letter. It was called An Open Letter to Flappers Comedy Club by Patrick Melton. It was in detail going through this whole thing. I had a whole thing blowout with the owner, Barbara, there. This is back like a couple years into their existence. The fact they've been around for 10 years in that failed shell of a what was that? It used to be not a Fazoli's. What was that Italian? What's that Italian chain place? Marinara. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about. You have one in your town. It's right in between the Olive Garden. Anyway, it was like one of these shitty restaurant chain. The Italian, not Carrabba's. What's the other one? Anyway, Johnny Carino's. No! Jesus Christ. Either way, Macaroni Grill. Yes. Macaroni Grill. Romano's. A Macaroni Grill. Yeah, it like was one of those. And now it's a comedy club. So I had to feature there one night. Like they were in a pinch. Their feature wasn't there. I think it was Darren Carter. And I had to go up and like feature. And then they didn't pay me. And then they also like charged me for a soda. I had Diet Coke and they charged me for it. It's like, Jesus. And then this happened like 2 more times. I was on shows and they couldn't get their shit together and just kept fucking up. And they wanted to charge comics to go sit in the back of an empty showroom. It's like, there's nobody here. I have 3 people. Can we go watch my friend do comedy? You got to buy a ticket or he's got to have you on a list. It's like, what the fuck are you? They didn't understand that like comics weren't their customers. And it's like one of these fundamental things that just isn't right. And yet comics just let it. Comics are the biggest fucking pussies. We're gonna get into it tonight. Fuck, man. Like, I foresee this becoming a really big problem in my life for this show. I was talking to a comedy buddy this past weekend. We'll get into it. Either way, now Flappers is on the fucking another scam to Built Comics. And I'm watching people like our buddy Chris Waldeck and stuff fall for it. This is how I found out about it. So they're doing an open mic now that they're charging a Zoom open mic. Now they're reaching out across the globe, getting global comics and wannabe comics in on this shit, paying them $5 each to compete. To compete in an open mic comedy competition. All these people having dreams of like getting past at Flappers. Flappers is a joke. Oh my God. They just want to make money off you. They'll charge you to make a video of your set. They'll charge you to be on their shows. They have classes, scam after scam after scam. And they're popping up, man. So on one of these groups, Displaced Comedians, you should see these cucked comics, man. It's so hard. It's so hard to watch. There's this comedy competition called the AMG. I believe that's what it's called. AMG comedy competition. I don't know what happened, but apparently people got ripped off. People paid like $300 or something to be in this. I don't know what happened. I don't know. There's a lot of these scandals going around in comics right now, getting ripped. This guy posts in this group one of the most cucked things I've ever read. Let me find this. I wasn't going to talk about this one, but this is another example of like. So this is a private group. Let me try to search it. Here it is. Brian Elberg. Brian Elberg. Let me share this with you guys. Okay. Here we go. So I was asked to share my this is one of the cringiest things you'll ever read as a human. So just strap in for this. So I was asked to share my experience with the AMG Comedy Festival. I'll start with the finals. They announced I came in 5th. I was told I won $50. A minute later, I was booted from the Zoom. And I emailed asking why. They told me I denigrated the host and banned, and they will not pay me. My best guess is that when we were chatting, the host said something about how white people fucked up in 2020. I said, yeah, all right. I was agreeing. Perhaps that was misinterpreted. I emailed asking what I said in the message the host privately and never heard back. I also reached out to other comics who were in the finals. They said they heard nothing back and no idea why I was banned. I'm not interested in arguing about who should have finished where, but I will say the group So, this guy gets fucked over by a comedy festival. His first inclination of why he got banned from a comedy festival is the host said white people fucked up, and I agreed. I said white people were the worst. Why did they kick me? The fuck is going on? Like, I don't care. Like, who gives a shit? But the fact that that's where we're at. White males, if you've never done anything, shut the fuck up. Stop. This is insanity. The host said white people were the fucking worst, and I agreed. I don't know why I didn't get my money. I said white people suck. Ugh. And then this motherfucker, I commented on it. This one got me. The clickbait. I think I left it. No, I deleted it. I'm a real comment sniper on some of these. It was one of the first comment here, I think, is what I commented on. It says, actually, the thing I find really horrible about this is the fact that you want a measly $50 and they found a reason to not pay you. That's the only point here. That's it. That's the only point. Imagine you being contracted to be paid by somebody. It sucks when they don't pay you. Imagine that. And then instead of sticking up for yourself and being like, you motherfuckers owe me $50, you know? By the way, you ain't got enough to get me on your Zoom show. No offense. I saw somebody shaming another comic last week for not wanting to do their Zoom show. They were doing a Zoom show for charity. And they were like, this comic wouldn't do our Zoom show for charity. Like, just airing it out, shaming them. Fuck you. Ask me to do your Zoom show for charity. I'll tell you to shove it up your ass. Fuck your Zoom show. They're awful. They're awful. Never been prouder to say this. Never done one Zoom show. Not into it. Find it quite gay. By gay, I mean homosexual. You know. Fuck. Let's get into some good old Vegas comedy drama.
Oh no.
In the world.
Ty Rivera is back. Ty Rivera is back with a little thing he calls stand-up comedy lesson 6. Now, let's not forget. Get him in the chat. Look, last time we checked in on Ty Rivera, he still hadn't launched his Patreon. This motherfucker has said he will be launching Patreon in the next -3 months, right? December. He said, final video before I move over to Patreon. Never happened. This guy is a nobody and a liar. Okay? The fact that he's now doing videos he calls comedy lessons. By the way, the first frame of your video, is he one of these guys who's wearing like cat eye contacts? I mean, I didn't know you could dress a dog up in so many little outfits. So he's now doing videos. As you can see, they're called stand-up comedy lessons. And they're going great. Referrals and recommendations. Now, it's a 12-minute video. We'll end with this one today. A little lesson from Ty. And then we'll also have some after show today because I got a lot of things. Now, again, before I go into this, because it's going to probably end up going after a few people. First of all, I'd like to know what's going on with Chanclas Cantina. Any Vegas comics who know what's going on with that Chunkles Corona? Because I thought, this had gotten taken over by new owners, and then it was now going to be booked by a different guy. And I'm still seeing Slammy shows advertise that Slammy shows is advertising stupid Trey's Mala there every week at Wednesday still. So is that still allowed? Like, is he still running those shows there? Slammy? Also, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how to know if a comic's any good. If you can see a comic every week, outside of having a residency in Las Vegas. So say you brought up Butch Bradley. Let's talk about Butch Bradley. Outside of Butch Bradley, who's got a resident show at a comedy club, okay? Outside of that, the only reason Trey's Mala is at Chunkle's Cantina every Wednesday is because Trey's Mala has a day job and never travels, never leaves, and never gets booked outside of this city. He's not good enough to. He'll never be good enough to. And you'll be able to get him at your shitty bar gig day in and day out, weekly. So if you see somebody who's like, catch me every Wednesday down at the old Fuckle Hut, like, they're a piece of shit comic, generally. And I'm being hyperbolic here. What I'm trying to say is they're not a guy who runs a weekly show at a bar, no offense, it's because you have nothing else going on. Like, and I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, it's generally because you have a day job, never leave town, and that's how you can be a baller in the comedy community. Or number two, you have a day job and that's just, the cherry on top for you. That gives you a little bit of clout outside of work. But and again, this has nothing to do with shaming people with day jobs. There are very, very funny fucking comics with day jobs. But fuck, man, you acting like it's a good thing that you're down at Chunkle's Cantina every Wednesday night. It's like, are you out of your fucking mind? It's a nightmare down there. We watched Ty broadcast a live show last time he headlined it from there. It was garbage. It was 17 people, uncomfortable as fuck, laughing at, again, the most trite gay material you've ever heard in your life. The problem this community has is not unique to this community. This is a real problem with like the dynamics in groups. Now, I was talking to a comedy friend this week. I want people to know that if you tell me the deal going on with this Chunkles, I want to know about this Chunkles Slammy deal, new owners, like what's happening. You tell me the deal. I won't blow your shit up. I keep things very private. You share information with me, you don't want it out there. I don't say your name. I keep it quiet for you. That's for you to deal with, you and your fucking God. I don't care. Okay? I was talking to a friend this week, and this became so well, I'll just say it. Brant Tobler is coming in town next week. He's headlining LA Comedy Club. LA Comedy Club is the club where Butch Bradley does his resident show Tuesday through Friday. What is it? Friday through Tuesday. I don't know what it is. I was talking to another friend and they're telling me, I was like, oh, well, Brant, what if you guys are the first guest in the new studio and you come? I don't know if this will happen. And it's not the first time. Everyone in this fucking town, and here's what's crazy, is like Brant Tobler is not only a better comic than Butch Bradley, but like has no reason in Vegas to like kowtow or be friendly to Butch Bradley. Also, I don't know when this happened that people think like it. First of all, I don't have any like heat right now with Butch Bradley. Him and I aren't going at it about anything. So like, whatever. Could change in the future. I don't know. The point is, I wouldn't have Brant Tobler on to just sit here and watch Butch Bradley clips while we dog on him. I understand if you're friends with Butch Bradley, you're friends with Butch Bradley. What the fuck does that have to do with me? I happen to feel like I was done dirty by him. Your mileage may vary. Not my business. And if you come in and do my show, it's not like we're going to sit and have to do that. We can talk about a million things. I just did 17 minutes on sofas earlier. But I see it. People in this town are scared to death of this fucking guy. And I don't know if it's because the only thing he ever Instagrams is a picture of his two Dobermans, mild threats to the world. Fuck, man. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, you can't, like, and I don't play these fucking mafia games that some of these clubs around town, like, if you do this show, you can't do that show, and don't advertise this show if you're on that show. You're all out of your minds. This is Las Vegas. There's plenty of shows. There's plenty of clubs. And you scrambling around sucking Ty Rivera's dick for recommendations, the subject of his new video. This is some of the cringiest stuff I've ever seen. And I don't care if you're a new comic or not. And you might look at me and go, who the fuck are you? You don't get out and do stand-up in this community. Why the fuck would you have any advice for anybody? It's like, first of all, I'll be back doing stand-up in this community. Don't worry about me. Or I won't. We'll see. Second of all, and I said it on the last show and I'll say it again, I know I'm funnier than most of you. I don't give a shit and don't need proof of it. I certainly am not going to chase some festival producer for $50 or go do Zoom shows to get my set tight. Ty Rivera.
It's Comedy Tip Tuesday, and we're going to be discussing referrals and recommendations. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ
in the world.
Before we get started, please make sure you hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. In case anybody is wondering, Snoopy Bijou's silence has been bought off with Play-Doh treats today. We'll put the link down.
I love to people are going to think, oh, it's so petty. I love to dive into those shots because people don't think twice about doing shots like that.
And subscribe. In case anybody is wondering, Snoopy...
People don't think a lot about throwing in a shot like this of their cute dog, but it's like a view of Ty's house we never get. And now we get to see a little bit. And we got to make fun of his living room. So again, imagine being a comic, new or otherwise. I don't care. If you've been on stage 10 times, 100 times, 10,000 times. Imagine looking up to and sucking up to a guy, aspiring to one day be a guy living in this, you know. Is that AstroTurf on your sofa? Like, we have blankets, a shitty leather sofa, you know, a coffee table from the 70s, a rug that looks faded out, one of the most basic kitchen counters with wood paneling painted white. There's an IKEA bookcase back here in this area. Seems to be his set where he does his show. Here's his little Ty Rivera CD that you'll see when he switches back to his main shot right here. And there's the painting that we all know and love. So this is Ty's apartment. Welcome to Ty's apartment. I just love to get when we get a view like that of what a man lives in. Snoopy Bijou has been bought off with a rent. Please click my link. How much do you think he gets in Amazon referrals?
Bijou Silence has been bought off with Play-Doh treats today. We'll put the link down below in the description. Oh, and also, there's going to be another link down in the description right above the treats, which is going to be my Amazon affiliates link for Butch Bradley's comedy special. Butch Bradley's comedy special just came out on Amazon today. He is legit my favorite comic here in the Las Vegas comedy scene. I love him. I've referenced him before in my comedy lessons, and he's just a good guy and a solid comic, and you guys should check it out. Like I said, there's going to be a link down below for Butch Bradley's special. If you get a chance, check it out.
So yeah, and by the way, if you get a chance, check it out. I think it's $5. Butch Bradley just came out with a special. Download it, give it a whirl, let them know. So I didn't know this. Butch Bradley is my favorite comedian in Vegas. Wow. Okay. And a really good guy. His words, not mine. A really good guy and just a great comic. Now, Butch is a funny comic, man. Butch is a funny comic. I think he's probably a fun dude. You know, the times we hung out, he was a fun dude. And that's where I'll leave that. But I guess Butch has, you know, leave an honest review if you check it out. You know, when Ty says he's the best, he's the best.
He's a master of crowd work and just
a master of crowd work.
Great comic all the way around. So check that out. And like I said, it's perfect for.
And by the way, I think comics, a lot of comics just aren't good at crowd work. And Butch is good at crowd. Like he's good at crowd work. He does it a lot. But like I think comics, because so few comics are good at crowd work, like decent crowd work. Like when you see it, it's amazing because a lot of comics just can't do it. Like they can't do it. If you ever see me headline an hour, you know, I'm sober. But when I do my hour and a half of it'll be crowd work, like fucking with the crowd. It's like a lot of people can do great crowd work. A lot of comics. And I don't know if I'd put Butch in the top that I've ever seen. This is like, you guys know Kyle Legacy, our buddy Kyle Legacy. He thinks like no one else can do what he does. He's just like, I do an hour where I just go out and do crowd work. I don't plan anything. It's like, that's not like a million comics can do this. And this isn't to take away from Butch. I'm not saying Butch isn't funny. Butch is funny. But when you get somebody with a simple brain like Ty, whose jokes are basically I'm a whore, I'm a slut, and wordplay on those two topics, you know, he gets real starry-eyed, mesmerized. And if you watch Ty, he can't do crowd work. We've seen Ty not be able to do crowd work. Ty can't really have conversations, even one-on-one, with another person. Like conversationally, he can't do it. It was one of the hardest things to ever to watch him on that tarot card show he just did. One of the most cringe things ever to watch a man, you know, try to power through a human conversation when he's just got to stick up his head. Like Ty's whole vibe is just like, I want to be here for that. It's like everything wrong with what your grandma thinks gays are, you know, and that's what it is. So it's very weird to see him in these positions when he does these shows of authority. Like, I'll tell you how it works in comedy. It's like, okay, Dad.
Recommendations and referrals, because that is somebody that I would definitely recommend for anything. And I know that a lot of people want to hear about recommendations and referrals. I know a lot.
Name 17 of these, a lot of people who want to hear it. Name them.
A lot of times newer comics are looking for people to refer them and recommend them to different shows, different bookers. I really don't recommend that you ask people just out of nowhere to give you the hookup at certain things. And it can be kind of a touchy thing at times, because what you have to remember is that you're asking a comic to put their reputation on the line to recommend you. And some people don't see it as that deep. If you don't see it as that deep, then you probably shouldn't be asking people to recommend you, because you're not going to treat it with the respect that it should be treated with. Because recommendations and referrals should be treated like gold. And I don't care what level you're at or what you're doing. If somebody puts their
we all know that's horseshit, right? The only thing that should be treated like gold is Bitcoin.
Reputation on the line for you, or sticks their neck out for you in this business, you should definitely make sure that you treat that with the respect that it deserves. When I was first starting out, this was the best way for me to get booked, especially being gay and people not being used to gay comedians really being that funny, or that many gay comedians being around.
This says more than you think. This seems like a throwaway line. This seems like it's not important to the real meat and potatoes of the video. But I want to really go over what this man just said. And we just heard him admit this. And we've theorized about a lot of this stuff for a long time. But this is what he just said. When I first started out and was coming up, referrals were so important because people didn't really understand gay people or gay comics. And they weren't used to seeing gay comics and didn't really know what gay comedy would be. You said it, Ty. You said it. This is a guy, and no offense, but tons of offense. This is a guy who, when it boils down to it, has written a set. This might be called, back in the day, a development set, okay? It's like who you are in a nutshell. Tell us, about Ty. And so what he's done is all this shock and awe gay comedy, okay? It's all this, man, there's a lot of guys. I don't wear a mask when I fuck, and all this kind of like just cheesy, obvious gay hack comedy. And again, in the early 2000s, late 2000s, this was all the rage. Do you remember? You, your dad, and everybody, one of his golf friends, wanted to know a gay guy, be friends with a gay guy. It was cool to be friends with a gay? I've never met a real, he's a real gay? It's a gay guy. Like, we went to a comedy show, there was a gay, there's a gay one? The gay one was actually really fun. Like, when it was novel and new, like the bearded lady at the circus. Now, we've met gay people who actually have talent. Now, we've met straight people who seem gay who actually have talent. Moshe Kasher. We don't need hacky, untalented gays. There is a reason this far into your career, you're trying to get people to click on links for referrals to dog treats. I don't know what else I have to say to make any comic following this dummy go, oh yeah, why do I give a fuck about this guy? He lives in a shit apartment in Vegas where it's cheap as fuck to live, okay? He lives in a shitty apartment with his shitty dog, with his shitty jokes, having sex with shitty partners to get over how shitty and alone he is, okay? His whole pill queen attitude of looking down on everyone and being too good for everything has passed him by. He doesn't deserve to be treated with that reverence anymore. He's not novel anymore. It doesn't add up. Again, this is a man we're watching, pimp out. He gets 3%. If you buy a bag of fucking chew toys, what could they cost? $10? Okay, enjoy your 30 cents, Ty. After the transaction fee of transferring that to your account, God knows you need a minimum of 100, I think, to get any kind of referral payments into you. So I guess $20.73, that check will be rolling in. Why are you watching this dope again? Tell me why you're into him. What success has he had? As far as I know, he does shows at bars. Patrick, you don't do shows at bars? Yes! I don't brag about it. Oh, but he might be able to get me something, so I'll just treat him like he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. He's a liar. He's a shit starter. He's not intelligent. He won't ever do anything for you. And everyone in this town, from comics I know who are more established and better than him, to people who are just starting out, have this irrational fear of this Asian. Patrick, he's not Asian. He's Mexican. Just seeing if you were paying attention. Also, if we beat him, that means it won't be a hashtag right now. Don't beat Ty. Man, enough is enough. Recalibrate cool. Recalibrate what cool is to you. Because this ain't it.
So I remember when I was starting out in LA, Mike Miratori and Earl Skakel were the two people that would recommend me the most for things. And
look at you now, pimping dog treats 38 years later. Wow, recommendations are so important. You're never going to be as funny as Earl Skakel. Grow up.
Because I knew how important it was, even when I was first starting out, I always did my best stuff. That's something I would tell you guys. If somebody recommends you for something, don't do any new stuff. It's not an open mic. It's not the time to work on the things that you want to work on. That is the time for you to put your best foot forward and actually...
Imagine Ty Rivera telling you what to do in a set. I'll do what I'm going to do. Don't worry about me. Guy, I recommend you for a... Why do you sound like Mitzi Shore? If I recommend you for a spot, you better show up sober. Paulie! Fuck!
Let these people see what you can do. Make sure that you make the person, or at least try, because we can all have a bad set on any night. So not too much pressure.
But your lips
but at
get
least try
in the way.
to do your absolute best. If you end up having a bad set, there's a good chance the comics are...
Imagine feeling the need to get this info out to the people. Guys, if you got a set with a new booker, try to do good and really show them what you can do. Try to do your best. Oh, you better get this down in a video for the peeps. What is it? Slow down. Do my best. Go on. Try. Make them laugh, you say? All right. Yeah. Are you fucking retarded? I hate this world. I'm having meltdowns, and you wonder why I built myself into a wooden chamber. Gross.
understand that, and the booker's going to be like, oh, I can see at least this guy was taking this seriously. Maybe it just turned out to be a bad audience. Maybe it just wasn't your night.
And by the way, I know when I get high, I slur sometimes and can't talk clearly, but I don't. Is he always this slurry? And now that we mention it, maybe he is. Because we do hear him on stage, right? You hear this guy on stage sometimes. He's just like, he does the, and it's just like, ugh. We're talking about a guy who every time he's on stage acts like he just did heroin and could pass out at any minute. He's the most low energy guy. When you shot and I shot, do your best. You literally walk up and go, I don't give a fuck what anybody said. I'm a big whore.
You messed up and didn't start off the right way, which is something I've discussed before. But whatever the deal is, just make sure that you're at least trying to do your best. Like with my recommendations from Mike Muratori and Earl Skakel, I can tell you, because I took them so seriously and because I knew what that was worth, and
my jokes don't go over, I don't care.
The respect that it deserved, I always knocked it out of the park. And then that got me booked for even more.
This is another
stuff.
just
And
classic
definitely
thing by
do
idiots.
not
Like, I always
lie
kill.
to a booker
I always knock it out of the
and
park.
say that somebody
I'm
has
so good.
recommended you
It's like, all
that
right.
has not recommended you. And this would
I'm
seem like
saying it
common sense,
again,
but you'd be
and by the way,
surprised
for
how many
charity.
comics do this. And
Any
what
stage.
you have to remember is that in a lot of
Any
cases,
stage, any one of these dopes, any stage, any night. Find the club. Find the club. We'll do it all for charity. I don't give a fuck. Name the stage. Name the night. Anonymous audience that's never seen any of us. If we can find an audience member who's never heard of Butch Bradley. Name it. Trays. Butch. This dope. Name it. I haven't been on stage since September. I'll go up cold. Name the time and stage. You can't. You can't. Trays wouldn't dare. We've all seen your videos. They're disasters. I've seen videos of the founder of Lovesac putting cushions, covers on cushions that got more laughs per minute. Ty, I'll do all new material that's never been done. Haven't even written it yet. You go up and lisp and lean on a mic stand and talk about your ass bleeding. I'll follow it. I'll follow it. Some people know how to write jokes. Not all of us can just lean on our Botox needles on stage. Just, hoping that that the latest fucking dose of Vicodin will carry us through. Jesus Christ, we get it. You're a loser. Like, it's such a weird contradictory message. Please click on the referral link on Amazon. I'm not helping anyone ever again. Oh, gonna keep all that sweet Amazon money for yourself? God.
when you do that kind of thing.
Long story short, Patrick got a new couch. Facts.
Back to the comic that you said that referred you, and they're going to ask them about you. And if that comic says that they did not recommend you, that's going to look terrible. And there's a good chance you're never going to get booked by that booker. So it's just something to keep in mind. It may seem
imagine like this. None of these are tips.
Feel like that comic would recommend you. So ask them. If you're close enough with them, you should be able to.
Like all we've learned so far is like, hey, if a comic refers you, take it seriously and try to do well. It's like this didn't need to be a video. Okay, this is a text between friends.
It's not that I don't like to do it. I have a select group of friends that I know their stand-up, I know their professionalism, and I know they're going to handle things the way that they need to handle them. When you're first starting...
See, this is what I'm talking about. I have a select group of friends. Why? Why does this guy get a select group of friends? I want to know. Identify yourselves to me. I want every friend of Ty Rivera to send me an email notification enrolling as such. Send me a letter right now. an email right now that says, I stand with Ty. Might have to kneel a little bit. Like, I am a select group of friends. Ugh. No, you don't. This is a guy who's not you. Like, Patrick, you haven't had a guest on your show in a year. You have no friends. It's like, this is a guy who's actually out doing. I haven't talked to I haven't seen anyone. Not interested. This is a guy who is out, who is mixing it up with the community, and nothing. He did a tarot card show. I'm baffled by what people still see in the dope.
Now, this is one of the most important ways to get booked. And even after you've been working for a while, it's still the best way to really get booked. In my opinion, it really is, because you can send out a link to a bunch of different bookers, and we can talk about that on an episode too. But it just doesn't carry as much.
I was hoping we could. Fingers
know
crossed.
and trust recommending you. There are some bookers that will hit me up out of nowhere, and they'll just be like, can you recommend some comics? I'm looking to fill some spots. I need reliable guys. I need funny guys.
I'm sorry, and comics will back me up on this one. Bookers contact me all the time going, where can I find comics? Go on to these comic groups. They're the thirstiest motherfucker. Where could I possibly get a comic? And by the way, any booker doing that has a shitty show that's churning comics constantly. Like, if you can't get comics to come out to your show, it's a bad show. So you constantly need new open micers and new comics to do your show to fill the place of people who don't want to come back and do it. Once people are in the know, they don't want to come back and do it because it's a shitty show. So, like, any booker going, like, please, do you know any comics who could do my show? It's like, what? What? I'm telling you right now, I could set up an open mic in this room and have 10 comics come to it tonight with 3 hours notice. They're zombies looking for crumbs. Like, you could get comics. I have bookers all the time want me to tell them all the time.
Recommend somebody. And then I'll just send several of my favorites and tell them, hit them up, get in contact with them, and then I'll go back.
Lie number 2, right?
And
then I'll tell them several of my favorites. It's like, hold on. If these guys were your favorite and bookers do it all the time, that doesn't add up. When bookers ask me all the time for comics, and I send them some of my favorites. It's like, well, after you send them some of your favorites one time, they come back and ask you for more comics because you said they do it all the time by your own. You said that. All the time means more than once, more than twice, at least a few times, right? All the time. If I had sex with a girl once, I wouldn't say, we have sex all the time. If I had sex with her twice, I wouldn't say, we have sex all the time. After having sex 5 times a day for a week, I'd go, we have sex all the time. Okay. Now that we've established what that means, okay. So you said bookers come to you all the time looking for new comics. Then you said, and I give them my favorites. Okay. Now next week when they come to you looking for new comics, because they come all the time, what comics do you give them then? Because you've already given them your favorites. So now what comics do you give them? Do you understand how when you start picking these stories apart, they're lies? No comics are coming to him asking for people. He loves to tell bookers who's funny and who's not. He loves that because he's a power queen. Okay? And that's not a power bottom. He's actually a pretty sloppy passive bottom, I would guess. This just unravels this stuff. It's like, hold on, this guy's a loser living with his dog and trying to get 30 cents for dog treats. Okay. Meanwhile, he's the gatekeeper to get you in with bookers all the time. They ask me all the time. Oh, yeah. Caesar's Palace calls up Ty all the time and just like, hey, we got Tosh in here in May. And then we're going to have Travis Tritt come in and do a residency. But we have 2 weeks open. Do you know any good comics? You gave us all your favorites already. Any other good comics? Like, what are you talking about? What are these shows where comics are needed all the time? Liar.
I will let them know to get in contact with that booker because that booker's looking for people. Be your most professional as well, because that's another thing that'll reflect on the comedian. And I always remember when people recommend me for stuff that this one isn't mine. And I say that, maybe that sounds a little weird, but to me, this one isn't mine. It's not mine to just behave the way that I want to behave or get annoyed with things that, are otherwise trivial. I really do treat that with respect because I'm trying to make the person that recommended me look the best that they can look as well. I recently had this happen to me.
This is just like the most basic shit.
I showed the, and I don't bring this up to be catty. I really bring this up to make the point because
it's the only reason you bring anything up.
I'm not mad at the other comedian. Sometimes people think I'm mad at them when I'm not mad at them. I'm just disappointed in the behavior.
It's like, again, it doesn't add up. This is a guy who constantly is like, I know people think he always knows people are thinking things about him. No one's thinking about you. Second of all, it's like, all you do is start catty shit. And when it gets too real for you, by the way, when anybody pushes back against Ty, when anybody comes after Ty, he backs away and goes like, I'm just kidding. You guys are crazy. I'm not even serious. It's so dumb. You're so dumb. It's like, do you practice being retarded? I've never seen somebody who thinks the rest of the world is so dumb. You think you got us all fooled? We all think you're successful? What? Like, what are you talking about? I've never once seen Gwyneth Paltrow pimp Whimsy's alligators. Okay? She sure doesn't do a webcast against wood paneling while pretending to be the queen of comedy. You heard? This guy can't do anything for you. You, the comedy community, have made him into what he is. You have done that. He has no power. He headlines some shows. He does some shows. He will continue to get laughs for the rest of his time on Earth because of his weird, quirky, gay angle. It's not new. It's not good. It's not novel. And it's not clever. Stop treating him like he's a great comic. Stop treating him like he's good because you heard an audience go ape shit for him. He plays mostly garbage fires. Oh, really? The guys in the bar in the middle of nowhere in Arizona thought he was a hoot? He's the third gay they've seen, and they've never seen one click his heels together and tell jokes. It was crazy for them. They also rarely run into gays in Kingman. So, they all got pictures with him and bought a t-shirt and will tell that story at cookouts through eternity. The time they met and hung with a real live gay. That doesn't mean he's good. He's not a good comic. He's not. Butch Bradley is a good comic. Ty Rivera is not. Trey's Mala is not. Ty Rivera is better than Trey's. Trey's Mala is not as good as any random Payless Shoe Source employee. Facts. Facts. Set up the show. I'll find the shoe source. You name the location.
And what happened was, I was hanging out at Butch Bradley's show.
Bragger.
Residency here at the Strat in the LA Comedy Club. And I had stopped in just to say hi. And there was another comedian that was in the green room that I hadn't seen for a while, and I don't know really well, but he is professional, and he works with some of my friends. He headlines his own stuff, and he had told me that he had just moved to Las Vegas, and he told me that he didn't care about getting paid, and he didn't care about the venue. He just wanted to be able to work on his stuff. So he asked me if I had anything that I could possibly hook him up with. So I immediately went to work the next day.
Okay, like what? I need to know who this is. Someone in the community knows who this is. Email me. secrets@nobodylikesonions.com. All the mail sent to that box gets destroyed. I will not out you. Who was this comic? A headliner who's professional, that knows Ty, who tells Ty, I don't need money. Look. Who tells Ty, I don't need money or care about money. Can you hook me up with gigs? Okay. Who? I need to know who. Like who?
I got in contact with 2 different people that I know.
The next day, I immediately went to work. What? Just say the next day I looked up some people. Like, don't act like your head popped off the pillow and you're like, huh, my friend, the referrals. You're being weird, dude.
Book shows that pay so that at least he would get something for it, because he does deserve some kind of compensation. And so I got in contact with these 2 people, and the first one gave me a date for like a week and a half later, and the other one gave me a date for him for maybe a month later. And what happened was, the first one, he wasn't necessarily happy with it because he didn't think the audience was paying enough attention. And for me, I was like, I do that show regularly. Technically, I did that night because for free. I did my set for free because they were hooking my friend up. And so I worked for free that night just to get him a spot. So I know that.
Do you see, like, when there's edits and there's these little cuts, he's trying to explain to you how he's a victim again. Like, I actually worked for free and took a pay cut, but there's all these little cuts and splices in there so he can get his story right. It's like, who cares? Who cares? All that serves to do is make you more of a victim in this story. It's like, how can you turn a thing that is supposed to be like, hey, tips for comics, how to handle when you get a referral and how to give referrals and how to take it seriously. He's turned it into, one time somebody did me wrong. One time somebody did me wrong, and here's another way they fucked me over, and I told them, no, and I was actually not even getting paid, and I shouldn't even, and I was out on a limb, and it's just like, God, it's exhausting.
It wasn't terrible, but they're a bar, so it wasn't the most.
They're a bar. They're a bar. He just admitted it.
Smoke weed every day.
He just admitted it. These are bar shows. Imagine making a video about, if I take giving you a referral to my bar show very seriously. I have to know what shows these were, and I have to know who it was. I cannot go on. Who was this? He never names names. This is another thing in this community. These pussies. Like, this dude got hit in the face the other night at a club. Remember when he did that show last year? Got hit in the face by Tom Bomb. That's who I was told it was. Allegedly. You can't say that? Tom Bomb hit you in the face? Oh my God. Where do I sign up for the Tom Bomb fan club? I'm in. This dude's swinging on Ty. Fuck. Cool as shit. Let's get him in on the show. Jesus Christ, this guy's a pussy. Fits with our theme, doesn't it?
Attentive audience, but I have a way of just punching them in the face and getting them to do what I want. So I had a great set with them. His set seemed all right. I didn't listen to all of it. I didn't sit for all of it. I don't owe you that. But I did hang out, and it went all right. But he wasn't the most happy with it. So when it came to the second one, he had started to get on my nerves a little bit because he was asking me if it was a bar where they pay attention or if it was one where they just happen to have comedy. And my thing with that is, I'm not here to hold your hand.
Is this a bar? Hey, what kind of shitty bar show is this? Is this one where they pay attention or one where they just talk? What kind of shitty bar show is this one? That you? I know all you get. Like, imagine going to Thai and trying to get booked on a shitty bar. Like, my lord.
Made the recommendation. I got you booked. I'm not your agent, but I full on got you booked for both of these gigs. And you're asking me what it's like. How about you just go there, see what it's like, do what you do, and if you don't like it, then don't ever get booked there again. It's on you at that point. I just took your exact instructions when you said you didn't care where it was or if it was paid. So I got you paid, and it's up to you. You know, these gigs don't pay the most, but they pay something. So anyway, we cut to...
Oh, the gigs you do don't pay the most? Shocker!
The night of the show, and the booker calls me and says that the comedian that I recommended isn't there. So I text message the comedian. He doesn't answer. So then I call the comedian. He doesn't answer. And then the next day he hits me up and tells me that he fell asleep at 8 p.m. so he didn't end up going and he's sorry. And I just told him in so many words not to pretend to be an actual comic around me again, because
don't even pretend
you were actually going to do what you were supposed to do. And I don't mind that I chose those words or that phrasing, because to me, real comics don't do that. You're supposed to be there, you be a professional, you actually make it there. You don't fall asleep for any of your other gigs, right? It's not like your regular thing.
It's like, this should have been a conversation with like that guy. Do you know what I mean? If anything, this is not something you got to take to the internet. We need to involve other people. This is insane. That's an insane thing to do. Drag other people into this. It's not even like what the video advertises that it is. You're saying like, here's some advice for comics on recommendations. It's like, it's not. It's a story about a time someone did you wrong, according to you. And I bet there's more to it if we get to the bottom of it. I got to know the comic. No one in this town names it. It's such a weird... And I'm telling you, I'm going to lose... Guys, we're going to lose guests on this show, particularly from the Las Vegas comedy community. I get messages almost daily, not every day, from comics I don't know in this community. Oh my God, I found your videos. I found what you've been saying. Thank you. Keep it up. It's 100% true. People love it. Comics going on road trips. You know who you are. Messaging me, oh my God, we're listening to your latest shit on Thai. Back in the day when we were doing so much Thai coverage. Comics love it because they know it's true. You know, and I'm letting you know as a new comic, stop giving Ty power. Stop asking him for referrals. You don't need them. Hang out at these places. These bar shows, hang out. You'll get up. Hang out. Introduce yourself. Make friends. Don't be an asshole to people. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. Watch. Observe who the pieces of shit are. Who, you know, like, say whatever the fuck you want about me. And I'll get lumped into this like, oh, Patrick's an asshole bully running his mouth. It's like, I don't run my mouth about anybody who doesn't deserve to have their fucking mouth run about. Okay? So if you have a problem with what I'm saying about you, you've been a piece of shit. Let's not get it twisted. You've done something and you know what it is. So I didn't start all this shit. Brian Scalaro, that was generally a wellness check today. Okay? I hope you're okay. Like, it seems like a lot of comics are really not good. None of this is okay. It's like, all right. You might want to go outside and breathe, man. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Wrap it up, Ty. Take us home.
Don't do gigs. I'm not going to keep track of you. I'm not going to remind you that you have a gig that night. I didn't even remember that he had a gig that night. Just when I got the phone call, then I was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, and I don't know. Luckily, the other comic that I had also recommended for that night was able to fill the headliner time. But it just makes...
It's like, it also, again, just doing a little simple math on all this stuff, it's like, luckily the other comic I recommended who was on the same show is like, Does this booker not have any of their own comics? You're recommending people constantly to all these bookers and all these shows, and they're booking themselves up solely on your recommendations. What is happening? And this should tell you, if you're a comic looking for time, wherever you're at, by the way, not everybody lives in Vegas or has Ty Rivera to deal with. It doesn't matter. Hang out with people you think are actually funny. Don't go with the scene who people think are the... Like, imagine sucking up to Butch Bradley. I'm sorry. Not going to happen. I've seen enough. I don't need anyone telling me what type of guys people are. Okay? Because I've seen enough. Okay? So when I say something, it comes from personal experience. It doesn't come from hanging out with a guy at a club for a little bit. Okay? I've seen it. I've seen this guy fuck comics over, Ty Rivera. I've seen it. I've seen the way he treats people. I've seen the way he acts. It's not good. He's not a good guy. I'm not a good guy, but I don't pretend to be. But I am a fair man, and I will continue to try to be a fair man. Hey, join the Overdose. NobodyLikesOnions.com/overdose. We're going to do some Overdose stuff today. Also, there's a show that hasn't been put up on the feed yet. You're going like, oh, there hasn't been a show in a week and a half or whatever. Yes, there has. I did it. It's available to watch on demand on Twitch. I'll get it put up on the thing. I've been rearranging the studio. I've been, shopping for sacks, spending all that sweet Overdose money. That's why I had to raise the price. Very expensive sofa. We have some stuff in the store for you that will be going out very soon, making way for new stuff soon. Get it now. NobodyLikesOnions.com/store. If you're an Overdose member, automatically you'll save money on your purchases when you check out logged in. Okay. NobodyLikesOnions.com/overdose. Follow us on social media, NL Onions over on YouTube. That's where our stories are updated the most. P-Melt on Twitter, NLO on Twitter, and also over on YouTube. Nobody Likes Onions on YouTube. Find us there. All the shows do get posted up there in video in their entirety, unless something goes really, really wrong and we can't show the scrot. But other than that, check it out. I hope this sounded good and looked good. We're using OBS for the first time to broadcast, and I don't know it that well, so I'm trying to get familiar with it, and we'll see how it goes. But a lot of reprogramming all the shit. So we're on a very basic skeleton system operating, but we do have the studio coming together. It's starting to look really, really good in here. And if you're a comic in the Vegas area, I'd love to have you on. We're not even gonna have filters for people. Just come in if you're a nut, and if you're weird, it'll be an hour and a half of me sitting here looking oddly at you while we make you look even stupider with voice and video effects. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a little break. I actually like doing that. We've been doing this way for a while, and I actually like this. We'll take a little break. Hour, maybe 2 hours. I don't know. Let's say an hour. Let's say 5 p.m. Pacific. It's an hour and 12 minutes. 5 p.m. Pacific, we'll meet back here. Overdose stuff to go over. So much stuff. And again, if you join the Overdose, it's the best way to support the show directly. I get that money. You get access to our whole back catalog and all the bonus stuff, lots of which I have coming. The feeds have been stagnant, but at least the studio is up and running now, and I can get shit edited and posted again. Have a little workstation here. Thanks for watching and being one of my greatest inspirations. I don't even have a screen to switch to end this. So let's do that. And then we'll just, yeah.
That's the end of my show. Donk.